Hey guys, Insomnia here, back with some more AFK Arena. Today we're on the Team Graveborn. One of the questions that I recently got was, how much money am I putting into this game? These teams, I actually bought one monthly subscription card. That is it for the faction teams, and that was to get to VIP 6. If you don't know about VIP 6, they have the bounty board auto feature, and they do have the skip battles. That's the only thing I wanted to unlock. The rest of the VIP level, I'm not too worried about. So we are on 13-32 with our Graveborn team. As you can see here, we're running Pharrell with Grezold, Shamira, Isabella, and Thoran. So Thoran and Grezold being the two tanks, other three being DPS, because unfortunately, like most of us know, the Graveborn account and the Graveborn team doesn't have a support class. So it's been going not really the best. Most of the teams are midway through chapter 14, some are even into chapter 15, so they are really behind. But just like all of them, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our soulstones. Hopefully we can pull some solid Graveborns here, which Falks doesn't really help. But hopefully with the rare cards as well, we do get 2, so not too bad. We will go ahead and do our summons just like we always do, which is going to be nice because we're going to be guaranteed a card here because of our hero choice card. So we're going to be guaranteed a Graveborn. I tried to get a couple more scrolls out of here to hit our 10 just to do one more full summons, but I'm going to have to wait till I get a little bit further in the weekly. And we got our first elite here, which is Tassie, so doesn't really help that much. Once we finish chapter 14 though, when we unlock the faction towers, we'll get quite a bit of help there. And again, with the Graveborn account, absolutely nothing from most of these pulls. We do have a companion summon, and there's our second elite card, who is Screg. So again, no help for the Graveborn team. Hopefully we can pull a double here, which we do not even there, not one Graveborn hero. All right, so I'm glad we get to at least summon one, so we know we'll pull one. And we got a Veden copy there, which is good. And that is it. So we are just not getting any love for the Graveborn team, as always. I think out of all my summons, they by far had the worst. And another copy of Nara. So that is pretty good. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get any of our barracks. Nope. So I've been trying to get them a little bit more fodder. So we'll do the auto ascend, which there we just have 2 that are going to rare plus from the Graveborn team. So let's take a look at the Graveborn team, because we do have quite a few copies. I'm trying to get a little bit more fodder because I can even get Sylvana or Naru or Veden up, and I can actually get double copies with the ones that I have, but we're not going to have another. I don't think we have enough for a double elite copy, which we'll go ahead and we'll get Sylvana up right now to elite. We'll take one more copy of her to elite. So we'll get them to elite plus, so we do have a little bit more fodder there. And then we'll just be able to get one more copy of her. So again, not that much help. I mean, we'll keep building her up. That way we can use her for fodder. Probably could have just saved her. Wouldn't have made really much of a difference at this point. But we just have to wait to get a couple more copies. So when it comes to the Elite Plus, we do need the 3 copies of her to get her up, and then a 4th copy of her to get to Legendary Plus, which is what we're trying to get. I was hoping we would pull another copy of Thoran, but unfortunately we didn't, because I could have gotten him to Legendary Plus just like the rest of the team. And no more copies of anybody for the Graveborn team. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to go ahead and push through the campaign, which I know we get our soul stones here. This is how I've been banking so many soul stones, making sure the dailies, making sure the weekends, and then pushing the tower gives you a ton of soul stones, especially with the Heroes of Espria event that's going on right now. Quite a few soul stones out of there for a couple different levels. So let's push into the campaign 13-32. The one thing that I have gotten quite a bit better is the gear on these heroes that I've been leveling up. I believe I have 1 or 2 legendary pieces there. And you see Pharrell with his stun. Pull out the little minion, so everybody just focuses all their damage on the minion. And as soon as Pharrell ult goes off, that takes down just about everybody. So I love the team dynamic of this, and unfortunately Shamira dies there. But that's okay. The team dynamic here is pretty unique when it comes to the Graveborn team. Because when you look, you have Thoran, who takes quite a bit of damage, can deal quite a bit of damage with his ult in 1 hit. And when he is killed, he does come back again a second time. You have Grizzled in the top right, who is popping up ads. And if you know anything about the game, any of the ads are kind of a distraction, whether it's Grizzled, whether it's Baden, whether it's Nemitsu's totems, complete 100% distraction. The enemies will almost go out of their way to make sure that they take out the ad or take out the totems. So pretty interesting with Grizzled. Shamira just does the life leech or soul leech, as well as the ultimate ability that just kind of kills everybody on the board. Isabella is super high burst DPS. And then Pharrell is our CC and damage. The big thing of the Graveborn team is the ability to negate the energy of the other team. That's why with a lot of teams, they have a lot of difficulty dealing with the Graveborn team, because they can negate all of the energy, causing them not to cast the ultimate abilities. As you can see, even if you focus on a Strilda there, or even the backline, the -15 energy, -15 energy. Anytime that Pharrell gets the spirits on them and uses his ability, he negates their energy. And I'm hoping we can push through this chapter, because we do get a couple faction scrolls at the end. And I just love Pharrell's ability. It's just so strong. I mean, look at all of the spirits on all the different heroes. And just taking energy away from everybody. The other big one that is kind of an energy leech is Nara. Nara takes a lot of energy. I believe 100 energy for people who are attacking her. So when she's a frontline tank, or when she grapples somebody, which is really very strong. If she grapples somebody over them and then they start attacking her because she grappled them, so they will start attacking her, all of a sudden they start losing all their energy as soon as they start as soon as they start attacking her. So it's a really strong combination. I wish the Graveborn team, I wish Lilith would just give the Graveborn team at least just one support class. That way I could keep the 5 faction bonus. And I think that's what's really been pushing some of the progression with the teams here, is having that set bonus, or having the 5 faction bonus, because it does give you a significant amount. And as you see, Pharrell is still just carrying the team here on 13-39. So let's look at 1340. And this was a tough stage, and it might continue to be a tough stage just for the fact of Brutus's shield. So if you don't get him to pop his shield early enough, when he does end up popping his shield, he pops it with a whirlwind, which can be devastating to a lot of teams. But once Pharrell's ult goes off, that pretty much negates almost everybody. And that was a pretty easy win there. So finish out chapter 13. We got our $9.99 offer. Move into 14, which we only have one of the faction teams that is still in 14. Which I believe they're right up at the very top. I know the Maulers pushed into the next one, but we have the Wilder team, which is right there. So hopefully if we can push through quite a few of these, we can pull up quite a few diamonds out of there, maybe get 1 summon, maybe 2 more, because we will get the reward for finishing the chapter. And Isabella here, even at the level she's at with some of the best gear that I can get right now, Sylvana just has this tendency to just absolutely destroy her right off the bat. And I'm finding the exact same scenario with Sylvana after running these stages yesterday. with the Wilder team and Sylvana killing Lorzen. Every single battle that I fight with either of them, whether it's Isabella, whether it's Lorzen, Sylvana has a tendency to just completely destroy the hero on the opposing side when they come over. And Thoran's ability just supercharging his attack with his ultimate there. And Thoran is a hero that I've never used until I started this team. That's why I'm really focusing on the faction team, is seeing a lot of heroes that I never do see. And again, Sylvana comes over, hops right on Isabella. And the fear helped out quite a bit. But again, she comes right over and just takes Isabella out right from the beginning. I'm hoping in a case like this to get up someone like Nara. That way I can just drop out Isabella, throw Nara in as a burst DPS in the back. Because with her grapple ability, once she takes down the first target, she goes right to the next target. And the other good thing about Thoran is not only his power up, as you see there, is he does a dot to a hero in the back line. And it is just a devastating amount of damage that his dot does as he gets his damage over time. If you look here, it hit the very top right mage. And even with pretty much almost nobody getting to him, I think Pharrell shot him once, took him completely down. And then we got the fear, which helps a ton. The enemy heroes just actually sit there when they get the, I think it's Horrify, I don't think it's Fear. As you can see, he horrifies 3 targets, so they just very short duration stun, but he does it pretty often because it's kind of on the regular rotation. I believe it's every 4 attacks he does it. He also has one of the coolest animations that I've seen in the game. The giant shadow. So the first shot there, second one is the Horrify. Not even there, it was about the 5th, I think, was the Horrify again. Plus he's doing constant energy drain, so just negating the energy from the team. And does a ton of damage. Go ahead and check out, I like checking out the boss fights because they have a little bit longer to actually show the damage. So as you can see, even Isabella with her burst damage does a ton of damage. Both of them doing more than Shamira. And Shamira did get her ult off in that stage. I've heard that both Pharrell and Isabella are just super, super strong when you get them up to Ascended level with their signature items. Because even like Pharrell there just took out the entire team, all 3 of the enemy heroes when his ultimate went off. And there's the Horrify again. And even there, Astrilda went to do her charge and the Horrify went off and she kind of stutter stepped and didn't move. And Thoran got knocked down right at the end. 14-11. Be nice if we could push through a lot of this chapter. And CC is a big one. The Arden Roots is a really tough one to deal with for this team because, again, look at them. They just sit right there because they have no support and they're not getting any help from healing. So hopefully we should be able to take it out, which we do. But Grezel and Pharrell went down, but still, look at the damage from Pharrell. 817,000 damage on that one. So not only did he die, so half the battle, or a short portion of the battle, he wasn't even there. But as you can see, look at the spirits. You have spirits on the top, or on the bottom with Angelo, on the top with Ira, you have them on Ogi, and now everyone. It's on Laika, it's on Astrilda. Everybody has spirits that are just doing a ton of damage. And that's where a lot of the damage comes from. 628k on that one. 14-13, so coming halfway, almost halfway through. And again, Sylvana coming over to visit Isabella just takes her right out. With the Horrify ability, we take out everyone in the back row. And an easy stage. And Grezel does have the artifact that shields himself, so you can see he shielded himself and then got a secondary shield that he cast on himself from his own ability. So kind of double shield in there. And I just finished the Far Frontier. If you haven't checked out the video, I'm making guides as I'm going through the Peaks of Time with the teams. So when the Wilders went through the Peaks of Time, I just picked it up, the Dura's Drape, and put it on Thoran, so increasing its survivability a little bit. I believe the next one that we're getting into, I'm gonna have to run it in a day or two when I get a little bit of time to run the next Peaks of Time. But I know the next one you do have to run more than once. I believe you do it. You have to do it two times to completely clear it, which there's a couple of those that have to be run more than once to clear the entire Peaks of Time adventure. I'm hoping pretty soon we get a new Voyage of Wonder. So it should be coming up pretty soon, but hopped on the test server a little bit earlier. I didn't see anything. And again, with this team comp, having Pharrell behind Grezel. Grezel does have quite a bit more survivability, especially when the ads come up. That's why I'm trying to keep the main DPS right behind him, because even if Thoran does happen to go down, most of the time they will go to Shamira. If Shamira goes down for any reason, usually Thoran's up the second time by that time. So even right there, he goes down. He's getting his hit points back. He comes back up. And he starts using his ult. So Goalless goes right back on Thoran there. Which is kind of like I planned, and that's why I tried to keep Pharrell in that top spot. Seems to work through the campaign with keeping the DPS kind of in the top left. A lot of times in the middle, you'll get a lot of fodder, and Atandra comes over a lot of times if you're facing her. But sometimes you do have to swap up a few. Just to make sure when you're fighting with Athalia or if you're fighting with Nara, a couple of specific heroes, Kelthar that does the place swap is another one that you sometimes have to switch up the team comp or switch up where the heroes are at, just depending on the setup you're facing. So that's where it's really good to know all of the different heroes and know their abilities, because you can change kind of where they're set at. And as far as the tanks, these are two solid tanks that just completely hold their ground, Thoran and Grezel. As you can see, they don't really get a knockback. They don't get pushback, where a lot of tanks, or several of the tanks, hop out of the way. K-Sauce, if he's tanking, he hops out of the way. Gorvo does his little Ninja Turtle stun, so he hops out of the way. And Atandra has a tendency that when she's tanking, she'll actually hop to the back line, leaving the frontline hero to come over and kind of wreck the backline heroes that you have. So again, knowing the heroes and kind of knowing their abilities. On the Mauler team and Atandra, I've seen that a lot of times where she'll go to the backline to kill a hero. Meanwhile, my backline heroes will just get wrecked because she completely leaves the tanking spot, the spot 1 or 2 in the front. And again, with those little Grezel ads, once the ads come up, even my team starts attacking them right up. And Shamir did a lot more damage, but when you look at her damage, it's not really true damage in some of these scenarios, such as this one, because with her AoE, it hits anything that comes up, which Grezel summoned quite a few ads that battle, so her damage is significantly higher, just because her ult is damage over time, where Pharrell's is kind of a burst damage. So a lot of the damage that we're accounting for Chimera in the battle was just her ult up while the ads were. And Veden is sometimes very tough to deal with. Biggest bonus I get out of this time is, or this battle, is when Chimera does a silence on Veden. We have a tendency we can take him out once he's silenced. And there's the little fear. And Pharrell does so much damage with his attacks. If you see even 2 or 3 attacks, he can take a target right down. Combined with his short stun and the energy negation, he is by far probably one of the strongest Graveborn heroes. And he's a hero until this team that I have never used. So the only 2 of this comp that I use on my main account and have used is Graveborn and Chimera. Everybody else I have not really focused on or used in any of the campaign. But we are just doing a huge push through here. So it's 1426. So we are halfway through chapter 14. Catching up to the Wilder team. And again, right here is going to be a case where Brutus is going to do a ton of damage because here comes the Whirlwind. We haven't even popped his shield yet. Which there's his immunity shield. So now we have to make sure he doesn't do a second Whirlwind before we can take him down, which we got him that time. So another boss battle, 1428. We're fighting a bunch of Maulers here, which is not good for a Graveborn team. Hopefully if we can get an ult, if Pharrell gets his ult, we might be able to get this. This one's going to be close. But we got a stun there. So we got it. That was close. Woo. And look at that. 692,000 Pharrell. About half that from Chimera with her ult. So pushing through 14-29. Similar team to us, Grezza, Chimera. And look at Thoran's hit points as Chimera just knocks him around. But Isabel does her multiple stage attack, but Chimera goes down. If we can't get that enemy Chimera quick, she is going to just destroy us, which we got her. Makes me a little concerned when the hit points start getting pretty low there, or the health starts getting pretty low. We got the ult off, got to take down Goalless pretty quick. That way Grezold can get freed up to tank in the bottom. Which I love Grezold when he does his summon ability. It does a knockback, which stuns them for a short second. And it brings up the Skeletal Warriors. And that's all they focus on. So we've seen right there, Morella and the other mage went straight to the Skeletal Warriors. That was another pretty close one. And look at the damage for almost 700,000. So he took almost the entire team out there by himself. This is another one. Hopefully we can pop Brutus's shield pretty easy, which we just did right there. Throw him a quick stun and he goes right on the ad. But with Chimera and Pharrell, oh, this will be the defeat. All right, so we did a huge push there, actually 14-32, so we pushed, I think that's close to 40 stages. So very nice, so got right behind the Wilder team. The Wilder team is about 4 stages in front of us. The Mauler team and the Lightbearer team has already pushed into chapter 15, so we'll go ahead and we'll collect up everything here. Get some gear, get quite a few diamonds, get a couple of the faction scrolls. So we'll go ahead and we'll do our 1 faction scroll summon because we got 14 there. Hopefully we pull a Thoran. Thoran would be awesome for this team just for the fact that we need one more. And look at that, a lot of blues, which I'm happy about. We do need some more fodder, so we'll go ahead and we get a couple more emblems there. If we get one more hero up to Mythic Plus, we have a ton of emblems. I believe at this point I almost have enough to get through all 10. So to get a plus 10 signature item just off the emblems that I have. So that will sum it up for the Graveborn team. So we push from 13, I think it was 1336, all the way to 1432. So pushing almost an entire chapter with one solid push. Like I said, been focused on the events, focusing on the towers, making sure the labyrinth's done, making sure the bounty boards are done, making sure the King's Tower's done, catching up on the peaks of time to keep the progression going with the team. So if you're stuck, focus on those, as well as making sure you're maximizing damage on the guild boss, and as always, collecting your AFK rewards. And look at that, 110. So finally, we hit 110, which VIP 7, that's what we were looking for. When we hit 6 for the auto finish of everything, which I believe here we do get a couple perks here. Well, we get one free elite, but doesn't mean it's going to be a Graveborn. Let's hope for a Thoran. Oh, Cirrus. Not a bad hero, but again, not going to help this team at all. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. It seems like Team Graveborn is still just behind the Wilder team. So as of right now, I believe we're a couple months in, I believe about 3 months in of actually playing the faction teams and playing them successfully. So we have the Lightbearers who are in the lead right now, followed by the Maulers. Then our Wilder team, which I thought Wilders would do a little bit better. And then the Graveborn team, so they should all be pushed into Chapter 15 next time. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you for watching.